Welcome to Fairfax Files. Today we're going to cover the case of Adriana Taylor, a beautiful 23-year-old young woman with dreams, a future, and a family who loved her deeply. Adriana Taylor disappeared from her home in Cleveland, Ohio, in the fall of 2022. Her loved ones grew desperate as days turned to weeks. And then the worst was confirmed. On Thanksgiving Day, police made a chilling discovery hundreds of miles away. Adriana's body buried under concrete in the backyard of a home in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania. The man responsible? Her boyfriend, Anthony Kennedy, a man 20 years her senior, who not only took her life, but tried to hide it like it meant nothing. Younger women usually date older men for the protection and to be provided for. This man provided her with nothing except death and was the murderous soul that took her life. Today we will tell the story of Adriana Taylor, not just to expose the brutal crime that stole her life from this world, but to honor her life and to speak with truth in a world where silence can be deadly. This is Fairfax Files, and this is Adriana's story. Adriana Taylor was described by her loved ones as warm, loving, and full of potential. She had recently moved into a home in Cleveland with her boyfriend, Anthony Kennedy. Like many women her age, Adriana was navigating life, trying to find her path, and working through the struggles of a young adulthood. She was close with her family and frequently checked in with them. That's how they knew something was wrong. And this is a story that can teach you as well to check in with your family or have someone to check in with. Anthony Kennedy, 43 years old, 20 years older than Adriana. He was fortunate to have himself a younger, beautiful woman. He wasn't known publicly for much, but those close to Adriana had concerns about their relationship. And sadly, as we often see in domestic violence cases, those red flags turned into tragedy. Adriana was last seen in early October of 2022. She stopped replying to messages. She wasn't answering calls. For someone so consistent with her family, this was out of character. By November 13th, her family had had enough. They filed a missing person report, like any family that cares deeply enough does. Police began looking into her disappearance, but the trail was already cold. Anthony Kennedy claimed she had just left, walked out. No big deal. But her family, they knew better. They knew she wouldn't just vanish without telling them. And here's where it gets darker. Investigators found no signs of activity on her cell phone. Could you imagine a young girl her age all of a sudden vanishing from social media? No purchases, no travel. Adriana had gone radio silent, and unfortunately, in many missing person cases involving young black women, law enforcement is slow to act. But her family kept pushing. They knew something had happened. They didn't stop. The investigation gained traction thanks to two things: technology and persistence. In the weeks following Adriana's disappearance, police began tracking Anthony Kennedy's movements. What they found was suspicious. He had traveled to Pennsylvania to Wilkinsburg shortly after Adriana was last seen. So why was that? Now, Wilkinsburg wasn't just a random place. It was connected to his family. So he knew the lay of the land. Detectives reached out to the local police in Pennsylvania. Together, they canvassed the neighborhood, asking questions and reviewing surveillance footage. A neighbor's ring camera would prove crucial, and those ring cameras usually do. It captured Kennedy in the backyard of a home, carrying heavy materials and behaving erratically. He was seen moving a large tote, pouring cement, and digging. It didn't take long for them to investigate further, and what they uncovered was horrifying. On November 24th, 2022, Thanksgiving Day, police found Adriana Taylor's body. She was buried in a shallow grave in the backyard of a home in Wilkinsburg, underneath layers of wet and dry concrete. Her body was wrapped in plastic, placed in a tote, and concealed like a piece of trash, as if her life didn't matter. The autopsy revealed she had died from a single gunshot wound to the head, execution style, cold. Adriana wasn't just murdered, she was discarded, hidden, erased, and her killer thought no one would ever find her. But he was wrong. Anthony Kennedy was not just some random stranger. He was someone Adriana trusted, lived with, called her partner. At 43, he had a criminal record, including prior charges related to theft and weapons. While no domestic violence charges had been reported publicly before this, patterns of controlling behavior were evident from witness statements. This wasn't just a murder. It was a domestic violence homicide. He shot her, transported her body across state lines, and buried her in a place he thought no one would look. He had time to think, time to reflect, time to choose differently. And yet, he followed through with evil. He chose violence. After the body was discovered, a warrant was issued for Anthony Kennedy's arrest. He turned himself in to authorities in Allegheny County on November 30th, 2022. In court, Kennedy didn't fight the evidence. In June 2023, he pled guilty to multiple charges: aggravated murder, aggravated robbery, tampering with evidence, and offenses against a human corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 20 years. 20 years. That's how long he has to sit before he can even ask for freedom. But Adriana will never get another day. Her family will never get another phone call. Justice may have been served, but healing? That takes time. A lifetime. The news of Adriana's murder shocked her community and devastated her family, as you could imagine. Friends and loved ones described her as radiant, funny, and loyal. Her death reminded so many that domestic violence hides in plain sight. And it doesn't always look like bruises. Sometimes it looks like silence, like distance, like fear. And sometimes, especially on social media, where people try to portray a happier lifestyle, it may even look like joy. Adriana's case became a rallying cry for awareness, especially in how young Black women are often ignored by the media and law enforcement until it's too late. Let this be a wake-up call. Adriana Taylor was more than a news story. She was a daughter, a friend, a beautiful soul. She should be here, smiling, laughing, and living her life. We speak her name so the world never forgets. We say, Adriana Taylor, because every woman who vanishes deserves to be found, and every victim of domestic violence deserves to be heard before it's too late. If you or someone you know is in a relationship that feels dangerous, speak up, reach out. There is help. There is hope. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel like nobody cares. Don't feel like you did something wrong. Even if you instigated the situation and you feel like maybe you deserve to be hit. No, you didn't. Nobody should lay their hands on you. You deserve to be able to speak up, and even if you say something that's wrong, you deserve to be able to apologize. And that's how life should be. To Adriana's family, we see you. We honor her. And we will not forget. With you, we remember. Rest in peace, Adriana Taylor. Your story matters. This has been Fairfax Files. If this video moved you, share it. Let Adriana's name echo further than her silence ever could. Remember to like this video and check out the channel for more videos on true crime. Please be good to yourself out there. Remember, tomorrow is not promised, so make today count. Until next week, be safe, be good, be wise.